I still don't understand the magic that made it happen.
Yeah.
Like, as far as I'm concerned, you did leave from platform 9 3/4 because that's the only way you got there and back.
Hello, we are here at Sun Sounds of Arizona in Flagstaff, Arizona, and welcome to episode 29 of Untamed Shrews Women Talk Theater, presented by the Flagstaff Shakespeare Festival. I'm Hannah.
And I'm Dawn.
And I'm Becki.
Today, we are joined by FlagShakes acting alum, Erik Christopher Peterson, who is literally on Broadway right now as Scorpius Malfoy in Cursed Child.
But before we catch up with Erik, Shrews, let's have a check-in. What's going on, everyone?
I cut off all my hair.
Yeah.
I cut off all my hair.
Yeah.
Yes, it looks lovely.
Thank you. I'm like truly obsessed with it.
Oh, good.
When I was in Washington doing my show, I remember my parents came to visit me and we were driving up the island and we were just in the car and a voice was like, cut it off. And I was like, what? So I followed that instinct and I cut it all off and I love it so much.
Yay.
I cut off like 2 feet. That's not a joke.
Wow.
And donated, I mean, it was crazy. Like it sitting on the counter, like in a ponytail. I was like, that just in and of itself is a whole wig. Like,
Yeah.
So,
That's gonna make someone really happy.
I'm thrilled. Although gap in the system, there is nowhere local to donate your hair.
Oh.
And like, I feel like I need to like start this like nonprofit.
Yeah.
There is nowhere local to donate your hair. So
Do
it
you
had
mean
to
just
get
in
like
Flagstaff or even like Arizona?
no, Flagstaff.
Okay.
So it had to be like mailed,
Yeah.
which I was like, that should be remedied. So
Yeah.
anyway, I cut my hair. And guys, I leave tomorrow for North Carolina.
Yeah.
I don't think I've actually announced it on the Shrews because I hadn't, the ink was not dry yet. But I booked a show in North Carolina with Sweet Tea Shakespeare. And I'm doing Shakespeare in Love in Fayetteville, North Carolina. And I'm playing the nurse and Fennyman. So if you've seen the movie, I am Viola's nurse and Fennyman, who's like the money. Yeah, is the money behind the show.
Okay.
Cool.
So
Damn,
yeah,
Moneybags.
he's Moneybags. So yeah, I literally leave like mere hours from now, guys.
Wow.
Like hours from now.
Yay.
So that's kind of the big things for me is I cut my hair and I leave tomorrow. And I'm gone for like 7 or 8 weeks. So be gone for a little bit of a chunk of time. I'm going to miss June, which is like the best month in Flagstaff.
Yeah.
But tonight is the F-Town Sound concert, which is Dawn's husband's band. So it's like our last night in town. The Shrews are going to get dinner. We're going to go hang out, have fun, dance, hear some music, and then I'll leave tomorrow, which is sad, but yeah, I'm excited. It's going to be fun. So excited to explore the South a little bit, see some fireflies.
Yeah.
Congrats on booking the show.
Thank you. It's going to be humid as heck.
I know. I really feel like the only thing Flagstaff is missing is fireflies.
Ugh.
Oh,
Fireflies are the most magical.
I jones for them so hard every summer. I'm like, why aren't there fireflies?
Becki was with me when I saw fireflies for the first time.
so beautiful.
We did a contract in upstate New York, and I cried. I was emotional when I saw
Can we
fireflies.
introduce them here as an invasive
I mean, do they
species?
like need the humidity or something? Like,
I mean, the fact that they don't live here yet means they don't want to be here.
they don't want to be here. It's too dry. I think it's too dry for them.
That's so dry. Yeah.
I presume that they are moist bugs.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Yeah.
Becki
I hate that.
hated it. Moist bugs. The moistest of bugs. Moist.
I'm obsessed with humidity too. But I
You
think
are?
Yes, I love my
You are a desert girl, my love.
My hair looks better. My
yeah.
skin looks better.
My skin looks better. My hair does not necessarily look better.
my hair looks amazing in the humidity. It's just so much volume.
Yeah.
And
It's curlier.
I mean, I feel like I'm gonna age much faster up here than I
No,
would if I
that's
lived in a
true.
good humid climate.
That's very true.
Oh, yeah. I'm like, I feel
yeah.
like that's scientifically.
That's probably
scientifically
correct,
accurate.
yeah.
I'm just dry.
I mean, that's why
now.
like people move, like old people move to Florida, right? Because it's like
But
good for
now
their
Phoenix,
bones and stuff.
I thought Phoenix was also a big hub.
The
for...
warmth.
Yeah.
snowbirds. Yeah.
The warmth is
Still-
good for your bones and
That's
stuff.
still that dry heat that I'm
Yeah.
not as interested
Not
in.
into, yeah.
It's a dry heat.
It's a dry heat. It's true though. Like we're such stereotypical Arizonans, but it's so true.
Yeah.
It is different.
And I think it's
Yeah.
worse.
No, it absolutely is.
Not better.
Yeah.
Like some people think.
So yeah, if you're in North Carolina or the surrounding areas, Virginia, South Carolina, etc., please come see the show. It'd be great. It'd be really, really great to see you. And I'm excited. I'm working with Jim Warren. He's directing the show, who has been on the pod. Yeah, so that's going to be great. And the AD of the company is someone I met at STA. So they're actually the only two people I know. Everyone else I don't. So, but I already know that the girls I'm living with, they seem great. We follow each other on Instagram already. So I can tell I'm going to have some great gals to be with. And it's going to be fun. But I will miss you guys.
Yeah, we'll miss
I feel
you
like I
too.
just got back and now I'm leaving again.
I know.
Yeah.
Even though it's been like 5 months since I've gotten back. It's May.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it doesn't feel like that much time has passed.
Yeah,
No,
I'm like, I
it
just
really
got back
doesn't.
from New York in my brain, and that's just not true.
Wow, it does
But-
feel like that, but you're
Yeah.
right. That's not true.
Just not true.
Yeah.
Yikes. Wow.
How about you, my love?
Oh
Dawn?
boy. I mean, I feel like nothing I have to say is super exciting. We fenced in our front yard.
Oh,
It looks
Has
great.
an adorable little cedar picket fence.
Mhm, very cute.
Blake immediately found the 2 spots where
He can
it's
get out.
not fully fenced and he can get out, and so that
And
has
so did
been
Bronte.
really exciting.
Yeah.
Well, Bronte can get out of any fence.
Yeah.
My dog, I probably haven't talked a lot about Bronte on this podcast.
Wow, she is.
My dog is the
Yeah.
doggest of dogs. She's such a dog.
Yeah.
And sometimes, and she's
She's an
wanderer.
escape artist.
Yeah, she's an
Yeah.
escape artist. So we'll come home and she'll just like
Be
she'll be
gone.
covered in dirt in the backyard, and we'll be like, where were you?
Yeah.
And why? Yeah, I one time I was walking her, and this lady was like, "Oh, I recognize your dog," and I was like, "Oh, like have you seen her out with Sean?" Or she's like, "No, just like from the neighborhood." And I was like, "Ah,
Because she just
This
likes to
dog.
wander. Yeah.
She just gets out and goes. And honest, guys, look, I know, don't come at me. We do our best. We know it's not safe for her. We know it's not safe
you
for
try to lock her in.
We try
Yeah.
so hard to, and she always comes home. So we know she likes to be
Us.
home and she wants to live with us. But she was a rescue off the streets of Yuma, and there's just not much you can do with
Yeah.
it. Like, they found her pregnant on the streets of Yuma, and so she's just scrappy, you know?
Yeah.
She's like, I gotta get to
Yeah.
food, I gotta get to water,
She'll
I gotta
fend for
get to,
herself.
yeah. So, you know, but she's
She's not like she's not precious. She's
No.
not like, I need my pillow in my house
No.
next to
My
the fire.
LaCroix.
Yeah.
She's-
That's what I'm gonna drink.
Yeah.
yeah, she is a roll in elk poop, bury
Mm-hmm.
things in the backyard, jump an 8-foot fence dog.
Yeah.
Just the most dog. So yeah, so anyway, so Bronte keeps us very occupied, of course. And then, you know, Blake is just being Blake. He's starting to talk more and more. He's obsessed with making animal sounds.
Yeah. When
Specific-
you ask him to say a raven sound, it's adorable.
Yeah, he actually
does the little
crows.
caw really well.
He goes, caw, caw.
But he like does the back
does
of
it
the
in the
throat. He's
back
like,
of his-
"Caw." I can't even do
I
it, but
can't
like
even do
he
it.
makes the little like
Yeah.
thing.
And so now when he sees them in the wild, he like caws at them.
Yes.
His dad could not be more thrilled that he
Yeah.
likes to talk to
He
crows.
does love to talk to crows.
So yeah, so he's just keeping me busy. But outside of that, you know, it's just work as usual. I know this is going to sound so silly, but I am celebrating that we have summer so well set up.
Yeah.
I just want to
Not
do a
silly at all.
I want to have a party. We've all our actor contracts signed.
Mhm.
We have our director secured. We have it
Stage
was
manager.
Jim Warren again. We have the world's most amazing stage manager, Kelsey Hans, coming back.
Kelsey Hans.
Oh, we love us a Kelsey Hans.
We love us a Kelsey Hans.
Kelsey
Shout
Hans
out Kelsey
fans.
Hans.
Yeah.
Kelsey Hans fan club over here.
Such a fan club. So I know that's kind of like that's all the, you know, mundane part of theater, but I am just like ready to like sing it from the rooftops that we've actually got everything together and
But that's the
ready
stuff
for
that makes us
summer.
pull our hair out when we don't have.
I know.
Last year was so hard because some of
Yes.
those, you know, integral pieces were missing, and that's what burnt out the staff.
Yep.
You know, so it's very important. I know it seems silly, but
Yeah.
that simple stuff is huge.
So I'm really excited, and yeah, that's what I'm doing right now.
Yeah.
Yay.
Woo.
Yeah.
Nice.
Bex.
Well, I've been doing a lot of traveling the past like month or so. I went to Austin for my sister's bachelorette, and that was so much fun. I was so nervous that, I think I've mentioned that after treatment, I've been going to the ER with these nosebleeds that will just not end. And I had a treatment day before flying out, and I was just so nervous that I was going to feel 10 times worse and have 10 times more like of a nosebleed, like after flying, being in like the stress of traveling. And I think because I went to a location that was lower in elevation and way more humid, I was fine. Like I woke up one day a little tired, but somebody made me breakfast and then I was good to go. So I was like, wow, this is it.
All right, Flagstaff.
Get it together, Flagstaff. Your girl needs you to be better.
Humidity.
I needed the humidity. And then like 3 days after getting back from that, Hannah and I went to Tucson for the night. And then I flew to Wisconsin to see some college places. So much traveling. I'm like, why did I do all of this? But I'm so glad I did.
And we just had because Becki and I live together, and I swear for the last like month and a half, we have been ships in the night in our own house. Like I finally come home and then she leaves and then she finally comes home and then I leave, and it was just constant. And then in April, I can't remember when we last recorded, but I did. I was an actor for the Phoenix Theater Company's 24-hour theater project. So that was fun. That was my Phoenix debut. That was a lot of fun. I've never done a 24-hour theater project before. They're fun.
I've also cut my hair.
Woot!
It's a short little pixie.
It's
so cute.
Thanks. Thanks. I just like, when I look at myself in the mirror, I'm like, okay, this doesn't look much different. But when I look at pictures or video of me, like from the side or from the back, I'm like, who is that? Like, that's not me. I don't know. I mean, I've told Hannah this, like, there are moments where I'm like, maybe I will just shave it. Like, now's the moment. I don't know. Catch me midsummer. We'll see what I decide to do.
Catch me midsummer with a buzz cut.
I'm so worried that if I did, there'd be some weird like shape to my skull that I wasn't aware of until I shaved.
I don't know. Now I'm feeling my head.
Yeah, like is it all nice and round?
I just couldn't do that because literally since birth, I have like raised birthmarks on my head, which maybe you guys don't know that, but I mean, who would know that except for like a boyfriend who's like on my head all the time.
All up in there.
But like I have 3 raised birthmarks in like a little like bloop 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 all next to each other.
Interesting.
And sometimes you can see them if like my hair flips a certain way, but if my hair was too short, you would definitely see them. Which like isn't a problem, but I've never been like, I definitely want to shave my head.
Well, I already told you, but your hair is giving Carrie Russell and Felicity vibes. And I remember when she got that haircut for the show, and it just like rocked the world. Like it was in like every People magazine. And like she looks so good. Yeah, everyone was like, Carrie Russell, like what a daring haircut. And I knew it would never be the same for me because I have such straight hair.
The curls make a difference.
Curls make a difference. And like my mom is curly haired, and so I always sort of had this like curly hair envy, and I was like so close to getting it and then didn't.
Because my mom's hair is always
Super
always, but
curly.
As long as I've known her, has been very short.
And she keeps it short, and so it looks really cute. Really if I go that short, mine gets a little wave, but it does not look that cute.
Not that corkscrew curl.
So
mine
good.
Is not curly,
So I did get an offer to do a show in Pennsylvania for the summer. It would have been a short little like 3.5 week contract, and I think if I were in any other part of my life, I would have taken it, and like, because I've got other things going on that would just make it more stressful, and I decided not to take it because I feel like, why should I put myself through more stress at this time? Let me just get through this. So I'm sad, but I don't regret that decision. I still feel really good about turning it down, even though I really wanted to take it.
But it's also so nice to know that you're wanted.
You
know, even though you had to say no, like you're not had to say no, but chose to say no. You're like, oh, good, I'm doing something right. You know, like that's always nice. Even if you're not going to take it, it's like, oh, I'm in demand.
It's still nice, yeah.
Yeah.
But you can catch me this summer in the FlagShakes show
Yes.
in 12th Night.
Yes.
So I will be here for that.
I'm so excited.
Yay.
Yes. You're playing Festy in 12th Night, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's such a fun
Yeah,
role, and
yeah.
you're going to kill it.
It is
Thank
fun.
you.
I'm
And
so
I'm
excited.
Thanks. What I love about that role is that I'll get to sing, which is not something that I get to do
Yes.
often.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited to work on that more this summer.
Explore.
Yeah. Nice.
totally.
Fun.
Yeah.
Anything else?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I don't know. Anything else? Ladies?
That was all I had.
We built a fence.
Yeah, we built a fence. I had a dream last night about making barbecue chicken, so I'm going to do that.
Ooh, thrilling stuff over here,
Nice.
folks.
Yes.
Really
Thrilling
exciting.
stuff.
I really want to start grilling this summer. So I did that. I helped out my friend very briefly on the Wisconsin trip. He was grilling, and I was like, I want to know how to do that.
Yeah.
And now I really want to do that this summer.
I
so.
never grill.
Yeah.
I make all the men in my life grill instead. I'm
Yeah.
like, I will not touch a grill.
Yeah.
No, not my job.
I'm always like, yeah, that's a fire.
Yeah. Not into it, but
Yeah.
please start grilling so I
Yeah.
can reap these benefits. So
Stakes
silly.
when you get back.
Yeah, totally. Alrighty, well, enjoy everybody. We're gonna jump over with Erik to chat about literally being on Broadway. All right, bye.
See you there.
Bye.
Hello, my friend. How are you?
Hello. I'm fantastic. It's wonderful to be here.
Oh, it's so nice to see your face.
It's good to see you too. It's been, I guess, I saw you in New York,
yeah.
I guess, a few months ago.
Yeah.
But Becki and Dawn,
briefly.
it's been a while, so it's good to see you.
Yeah.
9 months or something,
Oh
probably.
my gosh.
Right?
Well,
9 or 10 months,
yeah, because
yeah.
it's almost
Yeah.
summer. So
It's almost summer.
Yeah. So, Erik, we kind of introduced you a little bit earlier, but you were in our shows last summer, Othello and Importance of Being Earnest. Do you want to just tell the Shrew Crew a little bit about who you played last year and your experience?
Yeah. So I came out to FlagShakes last summer after just kind of a happy stumbling upon FlagShakes' presence online and wanting to audition. And then I was fortunate to come out and play Rodrigo in Othello, as well as a couple of other parts.
Clown.
And then, the clown.
The infamous Othello clown that no one ever keeps in.
and Merriman in The Importance of Being Earnest, the butler in the country
killed
house.
it in both of those roles.
You killed it.
Yeah.
Had an absolute blast.
You
Yeah.
truly made, honestly, like 3 characters I usually don't care about into my favorite
Yeah.
characters.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I know you're not supposed to like Rodrigo, but I
Oh.
totally liked Rodrigo.
I cared
He's
so
pretty
much.
detestable.
Yeah.
He's
He was
so
very
detestable.
humanized.
Yeah, he's so humanized. I was like, he's such
Yeah.
a bad guy, but also I care.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you made
Yeah.
him easy to empathize with, which is an astounding feat.
Yeah.
And
Well,
Justice
thank you.
always talks about what an incredible thing it was just to act on stage with you.
Yeah.
Justice is always like, thank you so much for giving me Erik as Rodrigo.
Oh my gosh!
Thank you
I had so much
much.
fun playing with Justice.
Yeah.
Yeah, he loved
Yeah.
acting with you. So.
Yeah.
And then I remember maybe it was during rehearsals, James Cougar Canfield, director of The Importance of Being Earnest, saying to you, Erik, that Merriman could have very easily been like a throwaway type character, and you did not do that.
Yeah.
It was so good. But I know you're on Broadway. I know you're in a Harry Potter show. I'm the worst. I have no idea who you're playing. I have no idea what the show is about. So
A Harry Potter play.
I
Oh my
know
gosh,
you're in it.
stop.
I know it's super important and you're super famous now, but can you please tell me what
totally.
exactly you're doing?
Yes, yeah. So I am currently playing Scorpius Malfoy in Harry Potter and the Cursed Child in the Broadway company,
Yay.
which is a dream come true and is so incredibly just fantastic. So Harry Potter and the Cursed Child picks up 19 years after the events of the original 7 books,
Oh.
8 films
Okay.
conclude. And there's kind of an epilogue at the end of the last book that picks up with Harry and Ron and Hermione and Ginny as parents, as well as Draco Malfoy, who is kind of Harry's nemesis.
He has been redeemed. Yeah.
Yes. It picks up with all of them back on platform 9 3/4, and they are sending their children off to Hogwarts. And then our play picks up right where that leaves off on platform 9 3/4, those 19 years later, with Albus Severus Potter, who is Harry's second son, the middle child of the Potter family, about to go off to his first year at Hogwarts, and he is filled with anticipation and anxiety and wondering what is to come, and what if he's sorted into Slytherin or Gryffindor like his family, or what is to come. And then on the Hogwarts Express to school, he meets Scorpius Malfoy, who is the son of Draco Malfoy and Astoria Greengrass. And
Astoria Greengrass.
Astoria Greengrass.
What a name!
name.
And it picks up from there, and the play kind of talks about what it means to grow up with parents that have legacies like they have, and explores friendship and goes on quite the adventure. So that's kind of what I get to play with.
Okay,
it's so exciting.
What is Scorpius like? Is he like a nice guy? Is he like a bad guy? Is he like somewhere in between?
Is he chaotic good, chaotic neutral?
Scorpius is, without trying to give too much away, he's been raised on some different beliefs than his father was.
Okay.
And he's just the sweetest being.
Oh, really?
And
yeah.
His name is Scorpius, though.
I know, it sounds, yeah.
I need to read the book, to be honest. I need to read the book.
Is The Cursed Child
It's a play. It's a published play.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Cool. Great. Well, that's awesome. Thank you for filling me in. I literally thought it was a prequel, and I was very wrong.
Well, that would be exciting also.
Yeah,
that'd be fun.
We
too.
also need one of those, though.
Yeah. So, Erik, will you tell us what your journey to Broadway was like?
Yeah.
And how that connects to FlagShakes.
Yeah.
Yes, FlagShakes plays a
Not that we're
massive
taking
role.
any.
We're not taking,
We're taking
any credit
zero credit
for your incredible talent or insanely
credit.
kind heart or incredible work
thank
ethic, which is all I'm sure what got you there.
But how we happen to connect to this weird story.
FlagShakes definitely is a major player in this story. But so last May, I guess about a year ago.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Like to the day.
364 days ago.
Yeah.
I graduated from Webster Conservatory in St. Louis with my BFA in acting, and was getting ready to see what the world had in store, and how I could put that BFA in acting to use. And I knew
Aren't
I
we
was
all
headed,
thinking about that?
Yes, that's the question.
That's the question.
And I knew I was headed to Flagstaff for that summer to do those summer rep productions, and had also just a little bit before that met my agent, who's now my agent, from my senior showcase in New York City, and so I headed out to Flagstaff, and I had auditioned for a couple things here and there. I'd actually had already sent in to Cursed Child once before. The previous February for their open call, I sent in a video for Scorpius, and didn't hear anything. And
radio silence.
Yeah, as is so frequently the
So
case
often,
with auditions. Yeah. And then a few weeks after I arrived in Flagstaff, they sent out a breakdown that they were looking for a new Albus and a new Rose in the play. And so my agent, Hell's Kitchen Agency, sent me in for Albus, and I submitted a video audition for the other half of the dynamic duo, and had a blast. And I filmed it in my actor housing.
I was going to say, like in your cabin.
Yeah. And they asked me to come out for a callback based on that video, movement callback in New York City. And it was the morning that Ernest opened.
Yeah, good.
And we had our preview for Othello the night before. And so it was kind of like, oh, wow, I don't think I can make that audition, but this feels like a really big audition. And it's a show, since the show had been announced that they were doing the West End run, and I knew Scorpius was a character, it was like something that I knew in my bones was a role I wanted to play and a production I wanted to be a part of. And so I was problem solving as much as I could. Could I come out for an audition a different day? Could I send a video? But no, I needed to be there in person, they said. And so between some help from my parents and my agent and all of you folks at FlagShakes, I figured out a crazy travel itinerary.
Yeah. I remember you calling me.
The email?
Yeah.
Well, I remember you calling me, and I was standing on my porch. I still remember standing on my front porch going, well, that sounds exhausting, but if you insist, you left halfway through Othello, you did Rodrigo as soon as Rodrigo died.
Yeah, you just left.
And then you flew back the next day to play Merriman that night. And I didn't have a concept of what you were auditioning for. I mean, I was just sort of like, you got to go for it. You got to go do it. I thought you were auditioning for some kind of ensemble role in a Broadway thing.
At that time I was in the running for Albus or in the running for an ensemble position to cover Albus or Scorpius.
Okay, and that's kind of what I thought, and I was like, still, sounds
literally Broadway.
I mean, I just remember thinking, if you don't take it, you'll always wonder. Yeah. You would always, you'd spend the rest of your life wondering what if I had gone, and I had done that audition, and thank God you did, because the what if was the best case scenario.
It really was, even better than what I thought the best case scenario could have been.
You literally got one of the leads. It's insane.
Yeah. It's so cool.
Yeah. I remember even that night, you literally even got there with time to spare. We were all like, okay, we had such a plan. Yes. We were like, if Erik is late, we're going to do this, and this. Yeah. And you were literally there for call time, eating a salad. You were on time. And we were like, how did you do this?
Yeah, the whole one traffic jam, and I would have missed. Missed the show.
Because I think what
it worked out. Yeah,
most of the Shrew crew is in Flagstaff, so they understand what it means to get to and from Flagstaff.
So hard,
but it's not like getting to or from. You have to get to
major
Phoenix,
metropolitan area,
and then get to New York. So it's not so simple. We are on a mountain. Yeah. The flights in and out of Flagstaff are at very specific weird times
and delayed
of the day.
Very often.
Yeah, so it's you have to get to Phoenix, which is a 2.5-hour drive before you jump on a plane. So I still don't understand the magic that made it happen. As far as I'm concerned, you did leave from platform 9 3/4 because that's the only way you got there and back. The time that you had. Otherwise that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. So you weren't even in New York for 24 hours, right? You were there for 18?
I was in New York for about maybe 2 hours.
Oh, damn. Literally just the callback, and then you left.
Yeah.
Wow.
I flew in. So I took the red eye from Phoenix that left right after midnight into Newark. And then my aunt picked me up that morning because with the time change, by the time I landed, it was 8 a.m.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. And then the audition was at 10. So we drove from Newark in New Jersey into Midtown Manhattan, did the audition. And then we drove to JFK, and I flew out of a different airport to come back and drove back.
You didn't even pack a bag. You just wore one outfit.
I also forgot about the time change.
Yeah, the time
change.
It's
a miracle. It's absolutely,
Wait, so what time was your flight back? What time was your flight leaving JFK?
I don't remember exactly. But it was had there been crazy traffic on the drive to JFK, I wouldn't have made the flight.
Yeah. Damn.
Everything really fell into place. It was one of those.
Yeah, there's that Harry Potter magic for you.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, Erik.
No.
Yeah, so cool. Well, of course, what I love about this story and want to point out about this story is that we often lose actors because they're not willing to leave New York. So it's nope, I have to be there. My agent won't let me leave. I can't come. I have so many friends who are trying to make it in LA, and I offer them over and over again amazing roles, and they just say, I can't leave LA. I can't do it. And it's I just love that you did it. Like, you came and you did a show and you played such amazing roles that no one will ever forget.
Yeah.
And also you did the callback and you got like the part.
Yeah.
So I wish more actors were doing both, because I have 2 friends in LA I can think of who haven't done anything that I know of in the last 12 years except workshops and auditions. And I've offered them some amazing roles. One of them is actually a director, and so I've offered her a ton of direction stuff, and one of them's an actor, and it's just like every time they're like, nope, can't leave, nope,
Afraid
can't do
to
it,
be
have to be here for
unavailable.
audition. Yeah. I can't be unavailable, because if that break comes and I'm unavailable, I'm not going to get it. So I just love the part of the story where it's like, as an actor, you can have it all. Like, you can have your cake and eat it too. Like, I mean, you do have to be willing to, but
Make it work.
I don't think our company is extraordinary in making it work for you. Like, I feel like a lot of companies would do that. A lot of people in theater have the understanding of like what a huge moment that is, and that you've got to make it work. So I feel like actors, like, go out on a limb, like, take the job, like, do the thing, and know that if you need to make a red eye to New York and turn around, and we might have to have someone step in as Merriman for you if you don't make it back in time, like, we'll work with you. But how much cooler to be able to, do it all than to keep like turning down roles because you're afraid to not be there.
Yeah.
That really is a credit to the whole team at FlagShakes, who just immediately jumped on board with support. And it would have been, I would have been completely understanding had you said like, no, we have a preview and we have an opening night, and that's what we've agreed upon, and that's what we have to do. And that would have been, a perfectly acceptable thing to say, but everybody just immediately was like, no, you got to go for it. And that was a huge relief to me. And I remember every step of the way texting Hannah, like, okay, I made it. I made it to the audition. I was the first person at the audition. It was a movement call.
I'm obsessed.
And I was the first person there.
Also, Erik, everyone was so invested.
Yeah.
My mother was invested, Erik. Literally weeks later, my mom texted me and was like, did Erik book the show? I was like, the fact that my mom even remembered who you were. Like,
oh, wow.
She was like, did Erik book it? And I was like, well, he hasn't texted the group. And it was just like, we were so involved, like the cast group chat, like I was like, well, I feel like since he hasn't told us, he either doesn't know or he didn't get it. And then, we found out you got it. And it was just like, I don't know. It just felt like it was a part of us too. Like the whole cast of Othello and Ernest, like we were just kind of there with you. Like you were literally backstage, like learning lines for your callback, like backstage of our shows. And it was just like, my friend is literally going to Broadway. Like, it's also such a testament that like, well, it's a couple thoughts. I have lots of thoughts, but it's the idea that like we are good enough, like so often as a regional theater actor, I get bogged down with I'm not good enough, or it could never happen to me, or why would I make it? Like so many people want this. But literally a friend of mine in a show with me who I love and respect made it, like did the thing that we're all looking to do. And it truly does mean that like you can do it too. Like it's really, really, really hard work. And you had to jump on a plane and risk everything and, have sleepless nights and, submit for things that maybe you felt were out of reach. But you just got to keep doing it. Like, I feel like so many people, whether it's theater or otherwise, people get bogged down with, well, I don't have the credentials for that job. Okay. Audition, apply it. Like, you literally
100%.
never know. Like, you had it. You had that sparkle that they needed, that they saw. And yeah, you were fresh out of college, but like, you were what they wanted, and you could have that thing that someone really, really, really wants, and no one else has that thing because literally no one else is you. So like, I just feel like if any of the Shrew crew, like what they take from this is like, you got to just keep submitting. Like if this is what you want, if this is what you want to do, like, you've just got to keep going for it. And yeah, maybe sometimes you need to pivot. You need to take breaks. You take the smaller companies. You take the less money. That's okay. Those are steps on your journey. And it could literally lead to Broadway. Like, it's insane. Like, I mean, again, like, being silly, but like, FlagShakes could be a step to Broadway. Like, that little company in LA or that little company in Ohio, that could be a step to Broadway. Like, you just never know where your life is leading you. And it's absolutely insane. And I know for a fact, especially since you've gotten started up in Broadway in your 20s, clearly you're going places. But sometimes I think people get bogged down with like, well, you know, I haven't made it yet. But you could make it when you're 50. You could make it when you're 30. You could make it when you're 60. You just never know. And also, make it is such an arbitrary term because, you know, success looks so different for everybody. But if you just keep working on it and keep pushing, you just never know what might happen. And I just think that that's what's so exciting about this story and makes me like all giggly because I'm like, oh, it's possible.
Yeah, it's totally possible.
Totally.
You know?
I'm vigorously nodding my head through everything you've said. And I just realized that that's not coming through on the audio.
Vigorously nodding.
Yes. So, Erik, when was your opening night? And do you know how many shows you've done so far?
I do know how many shows I've done. I entered the show on November 15th was when we changed over from the year 3 to the year 4 cast. So the way they kind of run things is with a whole team. We're the year 4 team, which is really special because the sense of ensemble that we have at Harry Potter is incredible. And Joel Myers, who is the Albus to my Scorpius, we share a dressing room, and he literally is the Albus to my Scorpius, but also in like our
in life as well.
Also in life as well.
Yay!
And so we just have such a sense of trust and a shared wavelength because of that ensemble that they really care about building. But yeah, so I went into the show. We all went into the show on November 15th, and last night was my 195th performance.
Whoa!
Congrats!
That's insane.
Wow.
Erik.
Wow.
Which feels like so much, but then also there's the perspective that the New York company, hits 1,000 on Saturday.
Whoa!
Wow!
We just celebrated our 5-year anniversary on Broadway, which is incredible. The thing that the company built is really special.
Yeah.
Wow. What was the rehearsal process like? Because it wasn't like just one person that was being replaced, but it was an entire acting company, it sounds like, or key player or lead roles, or the terminology for that. Yeah.
Totally, yeah. We had kind of a unique rehearsal process even for the Harry Potter company, in that it was there were a group staying over from the year 3 New York cast, so like our Harry, our Draco, and a lot of the adult characters stayed over. And then there were also a bunch of company members coming over from the San Francisco production that had just closed.
Oh, cool.
And so it was kind of like a blending of the New York company that already was doing their thing on Broadway with the San Francisco company, who had been doing the same show, but, with a different ensemble and in a different theater with slightly different spacing.
Yeah.
And then Joel and myself, as well as Imani Jade Powers, is our year 4 Delphi Diggory. The 3 of us came in new, as well as a couple of other new company members, and we just shot out of a cannon because 90% of the people in the room, 95% of the people in the room already knew the show inside and out, which was like such a wonderful support system for Joel and Imani and myself, who are learning the show from the ground up. And Connor Wilson, our associate director for year 4, staged the production in San Francisco, staged the production in Tokyo, and now is with the New York company. And he knows the show inside and out, and was absolutely incredible in plunging us into the deep end of it, into this machine that's already moving, but also helping us to build our unique versions of these characters and our unique relationships. So they're really wonderful in allowing us to have some personal touches to our characters. My Scorpius is unique to me,
right?
Just as Joel's Albus is unique to him.
Yeah. I was wondering, because I know sometimes and I know you're not an understudy, but just using this as, I guess, a comparison with understudies, sometimes the idea is like, do it the way that the principal actor plays it, because you're kind of being put into this puzzle. And it's nice that this sounds different because, yes, you are like an entirely new company, so to speak, coming into these roles. So that's nice to hear that you were able to make it your own and not just I'm a puzzle piece in this situation type thing.
Totally.
That's so true. I just feel like one of the biggest things about this experience must have just been like walking into a literal Broadway rehearsrsal room. Did you just like absolutely pee your pants? Like what? Like, oh my gosh. Like, I just can't even imagine like literally going from I've never been on Broadway to literally playing the lead, Erik. I'm just so insane for you. Like, the feelings of giddiness are crazy. Like, did you just like, I don't know. I mean, I feel like I would have lost my entire mind.
Yeah.
Did you
I
do
was
that?
I was very much secretly peeing my pants.
Yeah.
Every chance I got. It was like it was definitely a unique experience, and that walking into the theater for the first time, I had all these things going on in my head of like, I'm walking in to the Lyric Theater, which is where like Ragtime was, and all these, shows, and Harry Potter is, know, and I was surrounded by people that were at work. They were going about their daily jobs, and it was just normal to them. And I was freaking out inside. Like, this is not normal.
But this is not normal, though.
Yeah. And getting to go through that with Joel and Imani was special because, every time we'd take a 5 or a 10 or whatever, as we're rehearsing at New 42 Studios or on stage at the Lyric Theater, we could kind of turn to each other and have a like, this is wild moment.
We are on Broadway. Oh my gosh.
Wow.
Yeah. And I still get them. I was like stretching on the floor of my dressing room, and under the sink there's all the signatures of people who have had the dressing room before me.
Erik. Oh, I'm emotional.
I know, right? And Brian Stokes Mitchell had been in the dressing room for Ragtime, which was like, whoa. And Tony Yazbek was in there for a show, and I saw him he played the lead in the first Broadway musical I ever saw live, which was wild. And Patrick Page was in there.
You sign it?
Whoa.
Did you sign it?
No, we'll Joel and I share the dressing.
Good.
We'll sign it whenever we leave.
Because then in like 20 years, some young kid's gonna come and be like, Erik Christopher Peterson was in this dressing room.
Erik, I can't wait.
They're gonna lose their mind.
I can't wait till I get to be like, oh, I knew him when.
Yeah. I already feel like that.
Yeah, no, seriously. No, when you got booked, I shared it all over the FlagShakes social media. I was like, FlagShakes alum, FlagShakes alum, FlagShakes alum. Everyone was like losing their mind. And like literally even in the chat, Gina dropped that someone in Flag saw you in Cursed Child and knew who you were. So like
really?
literally like it has followed you from Flagstaff, which is just so thrilling.
Yeah.
So exciting.
I know. I'm like, how do I get out there and see it?
Yeah. Oh my gosh, Erik, I think my biggest regret in life is not seeing your opening night. Erik sent me like a discount code for opening night because I was there. And I was like, it's still so expensive. I'm not going to go. And I literally tried to go. I didn't go on opening night. So then I tried to go all through December and it just didn't happen. I input for the lottery like 70 times. And then I was like, okay, it doesn't matter. I'm going to spend the money. And I kept trying to buy it and it kept being sold out.
Oh, no.
So I'm going to be there in July. And I just need to buy a ticket because I've been
Hannah, I will Venmo you.
Yeah, I
money.
have been kicking myself since I missed it, and I feel so bad, Erik. Like, I was texting with Erik. I was like, okay, I'm gonna try to come this day, and he was like, it's okay, and I was like, no, I'm gonna come, and it just never happened, and truly one of my largest regrets.
Yeah,
But I will certainly still be there in July.
Yeah,
I will be excited to see you when you're back.
Yeah.
That's another question. So I just had this come up. I teach an intro to theater class at CCC, and we were talking about like long runs and what it feels like to be in something for a long time. And one of my students looked it up, and like the longest anyone played a single role in a Broadway play was a woman. Her name was Donna Ashbury, I think. She was in Chicago for 20 years.
Whoa.
And she played the same role in Chicago for 20 years.
The same role?
Yes, she played the same role. It was kind of an ensemble role, but she also understudied Roxy and Velma.
Okay.
But she played the same role in Chicago for like
The same
I
dance track.
actually pulled it up because I was like, okay, it is Donna Ashbury, and she played the same role for 20 years and 71 days.
Whoa.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm obsessed with her.
Right? I am so impressed. It's a crazy thing to do. But like even at like 100 and like the longest I've ever done a run, to be completely transparent, was something like 4 months. And I can remember at the end of that run just thinking like, okay, like, you know, when we got to the last couple of shows, getting a little bit reinvigorated and thinking, all right, we're about to be done. And that's actually good because I'm ready to like say goodbye to this role. But how does it feel to go do you find ways to keep it fresh, or do you just, you know, like how do you approach it every night?
Totally. Yeah. I mean, I think that the huge gift of live theater is that it's a different audience every night, which makes it a different play every night.
Yeah.
Even like the last night's audience was totally different than our audience the night before, and so that's the I think the immediate gift of it. But yeah, the longest run I had done before joining Cursed Child was like 25 shows.
Yeah, like a summer stock
I'd
sort
done
of thing.
I'd done Spam a lot for like a month and a half or something like that. And so I thought it was gonna present some challenges, and it does. You know, 8 shows a week is a lot, especially when it's a nearly 3.5 hour long show that is highly athletic.
Yeah. And it's 2 parts, so it's technically like 2 shows, right?
We're running in 1 part now.
Okay.
They still run in 2 parts in London.
Gotcha.
But yeah. And the show presents, the long run presents some challenges, but it's impossible to be bored if you are like just locked into your scene partner. And so that's the core of it, and Joel and I keep it fresh with each other. We're constantly trying out new moments. Like he gave me a different look a couple of shows ago, and after the show I was like, that was different. He was like, yeah, I've been thinking about that for a while and I wanted to play with it, and and it's been in the show now for the last week or so. It's something that we're still playing with, and it grows and changes, and our associate director and our illusions associate and our voice and speech coach are constantly, you know, coming to the show, and it's growing and changing, and so I definitely, as I was like training and looking at a future of, you know, potentially doing something for a long run, it always really intimidated me. But it's also just such a gift to get, like, Scorpius has this beautiful speech that Jack Thorne has written towards the end of Act 1. It is one of the biggest like challenges I've been given as an actor, I think, and to get now 195 opportunities to like approach that speech, like I've grown so much from that, and I look forward to continuing to do so.
Well, how do you actually stay healthy enough to do that? I mean, of course, finding, you know, not being bored and finding new nuances and stuff, but how do you physically do 8 shows a week? I mean, just getting a handle on sleep and eating enough. And I mean, like, I feel like you're burning 1,000 calories a show. Like, how do you just like physically stay well enough to do the show that many times?
Yeah, that is that's a massive part of what this job is. I mean, the simple answer is like sometimes you don't.
Yeah.
I was out for a couple of shows 2 weeks ago because I got just a nasty
bug
flu, and I've got these, you know, there's a whole team of Scorpiuses in the building.
Oh my gosh, that's adorable!
So
you have your little Scorpius friends. Oh, it's so cute.
Yeah, so like Jax Jackson was on, and Jax, you know, totally rocks his Scorpius, and that's just part of the reality of things. But yeah, no, I do everything I can. I have to be really, really diligent about what I eat, because it is totally a workout. And we have a full company warm up, which is really unique to Harry Potter, every night, to keep in physical shape, because it is physically demanding for everybody in the cast.
Is that
lots
before
of water.
a half hour?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, so we actually have about an hour and 20-minute call instead of a half-hour call to do our full company warm-up. And
like
so
yoga
that
and stuff? Like, what are you guys doing?
Yeah, it varies. And Chelsea and William, our movement captains, do a great job of keeping
changing it up,
you know, fun and also thinking about, like, if we've just come off of a 2-show day the day before, we might have, you know, a little bit more of a stretchy recovery kind of warm up for the next day. But some days it's like full on. We're doing calisthenics workout, and some days it's more about maintenance and but lots of stretching, lots of steaming, lots of vocal warm-ups, and thinking really specifically about what I eat, because it is a lot of calories burned every show.
I actually have been thinking about getting a voice steamer, because I just did my one-woman show, and I had considered buying one for the run that I did in Washington, because I was just like, you know, it's literally just me. Like, if I'm not on par, then there is no show, you know? What are this is silly side note, but
no.
Do you like a voice steamer, and do you find it actually helpful?
Yeah, I think, you know, the best thing you can do for your voice is drinking lots of water. It's about keeping things moist. I think in many ways, and the steamer's a good supplement to that. So I steam when I need to, if I feel like I'm just getting a little dry. Joel's a big steamer. He's like, he gets
always
off stage
steaming.
and the steamer goes on.
Cute.
Every show. So yeah, I think it's about finding what works for you.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's truly what I would be most worried about if I ever happened to do this long of a run. If I ever booked something like Broadway, that would be my major concern, is just energy. I would just be concerned of not giving people the best show because I am tired. And I mean, I've seen Broadway shows where I'm like, she is checked out.
Oh,
like,
no.
I have seen shows where, like, literally that person, like, is dead behind the eyes, and yes, they sound good and they're all doing all of the things, but they're just not there. Like, they are absolutely just roboting their way through, and that is just what I would never ever want to do, and that would be a big concern for me. You know,
do you ever, or does anyone in the company have like a scheduled swing out for like
that
reason?
Yeah, we have some flexibility for that. I took a show out. My first show out before I got sick was my grandmother was in town, and it was her birthday, and I wanted to take her to dinner. So
cute,
lovely.
Yeah.
So of course, it's like a normal job too. Like, obviously, you can have a day off. You have PTO like a normal job. You have sick days like a normal job.
But I mean, not every company will do like a scheduled swing out like that. I mean, particularly if it's a smaller run. So just curious if that maintenance was built in.
Yeah, and I just imagine, like, also for the understudies, that's exciting because they get to play the role that they've been preparing for. And, like, I
plan
saw
for it?
a couple of Broadway productions when I've been in New York, and one of them had an understudy on for the lead. And I remember at the beginning of the show, the whole audience booed when it was announced.
Oh, really?
Because it was
that's terrible.
I was really sad
Wow.
because it was a really famous actress who was playing the lead
Yeah.
role. And so everyone was disappointed. But at the end, she got a standing ovation.
Yeah.
And I was like,
I'm sure, yeah.
she and just the gumption that it took to just come out there and
Even after
kill
being
that
booed,
role
yeah.
anyway. And people weren't booing her; they were sad they weren't seeing
Right.
the lead
famous
that they
person.
wanted to see.
Right.
Frankly, this was maybe my second Broadway production I'd ever seen, and I was 16, and I had no idea who the woman who was supposed
like,
to be playing
who's
the role
Bernadette
was.
Peters?
So I was not upset. But I do remember that being like almost uniting for the audience also, because she got that standing ovation at the end, and everyone was sort of like, oops, sorry we doubted you.
Yeah.
Like,
No,
Yeah.
anytime I've seen an understudy on Broadway, like, unless you told me, I would not know.
No. Yeah.
Unless like the joke I made, unless it's Bernadette Peters, like, I basically, it's not a problem. Like, they're just as good. And honestly, swings are talented in a different way, especially
100%.
swings, not just understudies, because swings can play 20 roles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Understudies are for one role, but swings can play anything. They know every single track. They know every single dance part from every angle. Like, they know every part of that circle. They know how to change it in every, like, little tiny minute way. Like, that's insane. Like, crazy.
Yeah.
I have never been a swing before, so I don't know, but it seems really hard. So I applaud those swings. And I mean, especially, like, you know, COVID days when swings and understudies were like keeping Broadway alive.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
not just Broadway, every single theater. Like, swings and understudies. Like, I remember when like literally like Christines from Phantom's Past were being like flown into New York because we were like, we need Christines. It's like, who has played Christine? And everyone was like, I played Christine. And like every Christine Daae from ever was being brought into the city to play Christine. It's just like, yeah, I mean, yeah, those people are incredible. So
yeah.
yeah, applaud
Yes.
to the
Swing
swings
Nation.
and understudies. Yeah.
Huge applause, yeah.
Yeah. When, or have you had a moment, like, what's, like, where you've been super starstruck, or like your favorite Broadway story that you have so far, anything like that?
Yeah. Zooey Deschanel came to the show recently.
Ooh.
And that was really fun
Wow.
to shake her hand, and
Yeah.
she said, "Hi, I'm Zoe," and I shook
You're like,
her hand.
I
and
know.
I was like, "I'm Erik," and in my mind, I was thinking exactly. I was like, "I know. I've watched
who
your
you
show
are."
a gazillion times." And just some of the people in the company are absolutely incredible. Like, I feel like I get to study from some of the best actors every single day. Yes, I was starstruck again privately. And I haven't told him this, but I have a scene every night with Steven Spinella, who originated Prior Walter and Angels in America,
Oh, wow.
and won Tony Awards for it.
Yeah.
And it's just a masterclass.
Who does he play?
He's in the company. He plays a great role, but I have to hit you with the hashtag keep the secret.
Okay.
Okay.
I mean, if you really want to know, like, you can look it up. I'm sure it's on there somewhere.
I'm
Someone's
sure
leaked
there
it
are
on the
spoilers.
interwebs.
Yeah. No, don't spoil it for us or the Shrew Crew.
Yeah, that's fine.
Did you have to sign an NDA?
Oh,
Sorry, I don't know if
sure.
you can say this. Like, for that.
I don't know if I can either.
Okay, great.
I definitely,
that
I was
question.
definitely given a water bottle that said hashtag keep the secrets on
Okay.
day one.
Okay, great.
Well, you did say you have like an illusion artist, so there's
I
probably
love
lots
that.
of theater magic in
Yeah.
this show that you
Totally.
probably cannot tell us anything about how any of that
Yeah.
happens.
Well,
there's so much literal magic in the show,
Yeah.
so like I'm sure there are so many fascinating ways that you guys create the Harry Potter magic. So
Yeah,
So
it blows my mind.
yeah,
I saw the show in London in 2018.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and there was a moment when I was sitting in the audience because I'm like, how are they doing that? How are they
Yeah.
doing that? Oh, what does that look like backstage? And I'm like, Becki, be an audience member
Just
and
be
just
magic.
let the magic
Wash over
let
you.
the magic be the magic. Stop trying to figure it out.
Well, what I think I love
totally.
about this show especially is that like you have two worlds. Of course, you have theater lovers, but Harry Potter itself is a world that people have loved since, I mean, I've loved Harry Potter since I was a child. So you have people that have maybe never even seen a play before, but they are like, I am a Ravenclaw. I have a Hufflepuff. I am coming. It was so cute. There was like a Hufflepuff night, and I always like to say I am the Huffliest Puffliest.
Yeah.
And I wish that I had been able to come to the Hufflepuff night because I'm like, a whole room of Hufflepuffs would have been great. That would have been the best show.
That week was so fun. We did a
sure.
show. There was a Hufflepuff night, a Ravenclaw
Yeah.
night, a Gryffindor night, and a Slytherin night that week
So
for
fun.
House
Wow.
Pride Spirit Week. And it was hilarious because the audience,
The nights, yeah.
you could tell from the stage
Yeah.
based on how they were reacting and what they were reacting to. Like, oh
That's
yes,
so
there are lots of Hufflepuffs in the
Yeah, I
house
was gonna say, I was
tonight.
like, the Hufflepuffs are all like, oh my goodness. Like, the Hufflepuffs are probably like so sweet. Like, so excited.
Eric, how do you identify? Which house are you in?
I am, in my personal life,
Yes.
a Gryffindor.
Okay. Everyone go, Becki.
I think I'm a Ravenclaw.
Okay.
You know, I was gonna say I think I'm a Ravenclaw who wishes they were a Gryffindor.
Yeah.
But I really...
Or you could say that you're a Ravenclaw with a Gryffindor moon.
Yeah, sometimes I like
There
to
you
joke
go,
like
yeah.
that. I'll
Yeah.
be like, oh, I'm a Ravenclaw rising with a
But I'm a Hufflepuff with a Hufflepuff moon.
Hufflepuff's all over your
I'm
birth
just
chart.
a Hufflepuff everywhere. That's so funny. Gina, do you know what you are?
Oh yeah, I'm a Ravenclaw.
Yeah. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh, I'm surrounded by Ravenclaws.
Rising as well.
Yeah.
Ravenclaw
All of it.
everything.
Strong Ravenclaw presence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's. I think honestly, I'd have to
So
be
fun.
sorted by a sorting hat.
Yeah.
I don't know where.
Yeah.
I think the sorting hat would know where I fit, and I would have
Yeah.
all kinds of ideas.
I mean, I think Ravenclaw is right for you.
I feel like it probably
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
I can see it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think Becky's right that I think there is some Gryffindor like I think there's some major Gryffindor energies coming up. So maybe you're like half and half.
I think I'm probably a Ravenclaw with like a Hufflepuff rising who wishes they were a Gryffindor.
Still wishes they were a Gryffindor. What's your rising, Eric?
Oh, I think the probably Slytherin.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Although I have some Ravenclaw-ishness
Tendencies,
myself.
Tendencies.
But I think that it's not necessarily like a strict thing. But
Well-
and to your point, Hannah, like we definitely do get a lot of first-time theater goers, and at the stage door, almost nightly, somebody says, this is my first Broadway show, or this is my first show I've seen at all.
Yeah.
Because they come because they love Harry Potter, and
They
then
bring their book.
they leave
Yeah.
loving Harry Potter even more,
Yeah.
and loving theater, which is really special. And we get lots of kids, which is absolutely the best.
Changing
Amazing.
lives.
Yeah, changing lives left and right. So on that, changing lives, young people, what is your biggest advice for aspiring performers, even if they're not necessarily aiming for Broadway? Because to be honest, like I wouldn't say I'm aiming for Broadway. I'm just aiming to feel happy and successful in the work that I make. And of course, I aspire for that to always grow and build and to keep working for, companies that bring me joy and shows that bring me joy. But how would you advise people to sort of keep making those steps forward as
Well,
performers?
you just hit the nail on the head, I think. is to find the happiness and the joy and the love wherever you are and whatever it is that you're doing, and continue to follow that. Like I didn't see Broadway in my future.
Yeah.
I'm not I love musical theater, but I'm not like a musical theater-y guy.
Yeah.
And my degree is in acting, and primarily my experience is in Shakespeare.
Yeah.
And so I didn't see Broadway in my future. But yeah, follow the love, follow the joy, and be present where you are, I guess, is, I think, really important life advice for everyone, not just aspiring
Not just
performers.
actors. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, when it comes to nitty gritty, would you say that like having an agent it sounded like really that changed the game for you? And I presume your equity, You have to have
Yeah.
non-equity, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when it comes to like sort of those practical daily things, do you feel like having an agent really like made the difference for you?
For me, yes. Signing with Hell's Kitchen Agency, and now I'm also repped by 44 West Entertainment is my management group, was the right path for me.
Mm-hmm.
And I've hit it off with the people at those companies really nicely.
Yeah.
At the same time, I don't think having an agent, I don't think having a manager is necessary to be successful in this field.
Mm-hmm.
I have friends that don't. Joel didn't have any representation when he was going through the audition process.
Yeah.
I hope that's okay for me to say. I don't think he would mind.
Mm-hmm.
So it comes back to what you were saying about being happy and present and where you are. But like, there are plenty of auditions out there that you can get without having an agent.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I found FlagShakes without, I had my agent, but FlagShakes was something that I found
On your own.
on my own. And yeah, I think it's hard to be prescriptive. All I wanted when I was training was for someone to be prescriptive to me and say, this is what you do to find
succeed.
success.
Yeah,
And,
of course, we all want that. Yeah.
all I was getting was people working professionally saying, I can't do that.
Yeah.
I can't tell you because it's about the path that works for you.
Yeah.
And now I'm like saying,
Yeah.
it's about the path that works for you, which would have made me just 12 months ago, like tear my hair out with frustration. But
it's
it
also,
is
I mean,
true.
it truly is. I mean, I hate to say like the all about who you know is wrong, but not necessarily wrong, but not the way to think about it. But it truly is about individual paths, because one thing gets you the next thing, and that gets you the next thing. And then you meet this person, and then you hear about this company, and you read this play, and you do this and you do that. Like, I mean, Dawn knows this, but like I would have almost nothing I have without this gal sitting next to me. She literally hired me as this rando child from Utah, or living in Utah. Like, she saw something in me, right? And FlagShakes, I truly believe, got me everything else I've ever gotten, because I met someone, or I got this job because someone saw me, and I did this show and played this role, and that got me this, and this got me this, and then I went to STA, and then I met these people, and I did this, and I did this. And like, it truly is about, like, I know it's so silly to be like, it's a journey, but it is, because like, we all have our different journeys, like.
And it's not a linear business. There isn't like, this will lead to this promotion, will lead to this. Like, everything is, I don't know, as someone described it to me, as like, you'll hit every rung in the ladder at some point in your career. Like, it's not going to be, it's not linear. It's
not like a finance job where like this job gets you to partner, and then you do this, and then that, and then you're associate,
and then you're producer. I don't know.
At the top.
Well, and now when I think back, some of my most devastating rejections were the best thing for my career. So, straight out of grad school, there was nothing I wanted more than a job at the American Shakespeare Center. I just kept praying. Like, I was apprenticing their Renaissance season.
Yeah.
It was such a wonderful experience for me. And I just thought, all I want is for them to give me a job and then keep me here for the rest of my life.
I just want to live here
forever.
forever.
And that's what I want. And now I think about that and I'm like, that's not what you wanted. You wanted to run your own company. Like, that's crazy. I would still be acting for someone else in, in a place that was not my hometown. I wouldn't have met my husband. I wouldn't have my child. Like, there are things outside of my career that only worked out because of those rejections. Yeah. And
absolutely.
Yeah, it's very interesting to me. It's like, oh, okay. Like, at that moment, it was the worst possible thing that could have happened to me.
Yeah.
And now looking back, I'm like, wow, thank God that wasn't the trajectory, because now I have so much more, like, I know so many more people. I have so much more breadth of experience. I enjoy what I'm doing so much more than I would have if that had worked out.
Yeah. No, I mean, like, a huge tenet of my one-woman show is when one door closes, a window opens. Yeah. And that heartbreak leads to opportunity. I mean, in December, I went through some major, major heartbreak and big change. And I was like, I have no idea what I'm doing. Like, and I was just like, okay, well, clearly that's not happening. And I guess I need to like continue this trajectory. Like, I wrote my show, you know, I took my show on the road because of those heartbreaks. And, you know, I booked a show this summer and like, I'm doing big, you know, I'm doing things like you just never know. 'Cause if I had, you know, been doing what I thought I was going to be doing in December, I would be in a completely different place, you know? And yeah, it sucked at the time. And I have not gotten way more shows than I've gotten, but that helped, you know, that kept me open for the shows I did get. And those shows led me to meeting people, like meeting you, meeting Becki, like my best friend Cadence I met here at FlagShakes. And she's like a huge part of my life, and moving to Flagstaff, becoming an aerialist, like writing my show. Like these are all things. Yeah. You met your husband. Like there's, you know, you just never know. It's just crazy. I don't know. I feel like that's the biggest takeaway from this episode is that you just don't know where your life is leading you.
You don't know what that
red and you really can only have that perspective with hindsight, which is like tough. And a lesson that I keep learning, and I'm sure I will continue to keep learning.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, well, because it doesn't, I mean, while you're feeling it, it hurts. Like, there's no, like, you know, there's no amount of silver lining that can help in the moment.
No.
Yeah. It sucks while it's happening.
It does. It does.
Yeah, not to negate that. But,
well, any last minute questions for Erik? Also, we want to hear how to find you, what maybe is up next, but do we have any last minute burning questions for him?
Well, so I'm wondering, because Broadway happens, like it's an entertainment, happens during when a lot of other jobs are off. Like, I did not explain that very well, but I think
like,
you know what I mean.
No, I get
like
what you
he
mean.
works evenings and other people.
Yes.
Like, it's the opposite schedule of most people.
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
So Erik, do you find like, do you make kind of your whole day about like going to do the show, or do you find like, oh, today, like I really need to do something that's not just like work or not just the show? Like,
theater.
What's your like, I guess, day-to-day mundane life like?
Yeah, totally. Well, I keep trying to figure that out. I haven't totally figured it out yet, but I have an inkling that it's about balance, because there are days where I need to sleep in until what to most people would be a ridiculous hour, but because I was up late working, you know, it's just what my body needs, which goes back to what you were saying about health earlier, Hannah. Like sleep is huge. But there are also days where it's like, okay, there's this show that I really want to see, and they have a Monday preview, and Monday's my one day that I'm off, and I don't know if what I want to do is go into the theater district, another play, but I have discovered that is like incredibly revitalizing for me to watch others work. Every time I see a play on a Sunday night, because usually we just have the Sunday matinee, or a Monday night if I get lucky, that next week of shows there's an extra spark for me. So sometimes it's about diving in even further, and sometimes it's about distance, and it's about watching my Colorado Rockies play a baseball game on the TV or something. So it varies, but it is a lot of
birthday with her.
Yeah.
Yes.
Taking grandma to dinner.
So yeah, it's about balance and getting some sunshine when I can.
Seriously.
In a dark, cold theater.
Oh.
Yeah.
Especially now that it's starting to be beautiful in New York.
Yeah, that must be a really hard part, to sleep through so much sun.
Yeah.
That would be.
And
really
then go
hard
into
for
a dark
me.
theater for 6
and
hours.
then spend a long time in a dark theater.
Oh, that's what we got a lot of here is sunshine in Flagstaff, Arizona.
Yes.
Yeah.
The most sunshine.
Like 340 days of sunshine or something crazy.
Yeah,
like
it's
that.
wild.
It's really wild. Amazing.
Cool. Well, thank you so much, Erik. This was so
thank you.
enlightening. I have a lot of questions that I can answer for myself off the podcast. Like, how is there another Diggory? I thought he died. I've been thinking about that since you mentioned.
Dawn has so many questions. She needs to read the play.
I clearly need to find out what.
Or if you're gonna see it, don't read the play. Let yourself
Okay,
experience
yeah.
it
Yeah,
live.
I'll
I would
just-
say.
I'll hold on for the hope that one day I will see the play, but until
Yeah.
then, it's going to be a burning question in my mind.
Yeah.
How is there a Diggory?
How is
He
there
died.
a Diggory?
Okay,
Yeah.
anyway.
Eric, where
thank
can
you
they
so
find
much.
you?
Yeah.
Well, first off, I mean, pretty obvious, but where can they see you perform?
The Lyric Theater on 43rd Street, between Broadway and 8th. 8 shows a week.
Nice.
And then I'm eric.c.peterson on Instagram,
Nice.
and my website is petersoneric.com.
Nice.
Yay.
Okay, well, yeah, I'm going to try to come see it in July, and I hope to see so many Shrew Crew people. Honestly, if someone from the Shrew Crew, is this okay, Eric? Can they message you? Okay. If
Totally,
someone
yeah.
from the Shrew Crew goes to see Eric, please let him know and let us know that you went to go see him.
Take a pic.
Because I want to see some Shrew Crewers go see Eric.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Totally, yeah. Tag me on Instagram or whatever,
Yeah.
and I'll find you at the stage door after the show for
oh,
sure.
yay! That'd be awesome.
Cool.
You get the inside, the inside scoop.
Oh, woo.
Amazing. Well, Eric, truly so lovely to have
Yes,
you.
Good to catch up.
I just remembered seeing your video, and we could just tell your energy, that you were just a good human, not only an incredible performer,
thank you.
but we could just tell from your video, and you clearly proved that when you arrived. And we were just so, I just remember in staff meetings literally being like, Eric, what a good one. So you are just the loveliest. I am so happy for you, and it was so great to have you.
Thank you again. I appreciate all of you. It's good to see you, and I hope that this summer season is just a blast.
Thanks for listening to this month's episode of Untamed Shrews. I'm Hannah.
And I'm Dawn.
And I'm Becki. Join us next time in June.
In June.
In June.
In June.
In
for
Shroon.
That's
Well, why don't we rebrand June as Shroon?
Shroom.
That's excellent.
Love
It's
that.
Shroon, everybody.
Wait, sorry, now we're off topic, but what's the song? Is it from Carousel? June is busting out all over. Sharoon is busting out all over. Okay. And I'm Becki. Join us next time in June for a Shrews only episode. Follow Untamed Shrews on Instagram at Untamed Shrews Podcast and on the FlagShakes website. All episodes of Untamed Shrews can be found wherever you get your podcasts, as well as on sunsounds.org and at the FlagShakes YouTube.
Please subscribe to the podcast, leave us a review, comment with which Harry Potter house you
Yes.
belong to.
Yes, please.
Put us in your Instagram stories, donate on flagshakes.org/donate, become a podcast sponsor, and buy Shrew Crew merch. It is so cute. Buy your Shrew Crew merch and help support the Shrew Crew.
This episode of Untamed Shrews starring Dawn Tucker, Becki Zaritsky, Hannah Fonts, and Erik Christopher Peterson. Show art by Calliope Luedeker. Podcast theme song by Cadence Lamb. Podcast produced and edited by Hannah Fonts. Presented by Flagstaff Shakespeare Festival and recorded with Sun Sounds of Arizona. And special thanks to our rockin' audio engineer, Gina Byers.
Yay!
Bye.
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 Bye.